This is breaking news.
This is Chip Smith in Chopper 2. We are following breaking news out of Brooklyn. There has been a shooting at the post office along Coney Island Avenue in the Midwood section of Brooklyn. This happened about 1:15 at the Midwood Station. There you can see police officers in the front of the building. This is located along Coney Island Avenue, about midway between Avenues I and J. About 1:15 this afternoon, the early reports are that a person described as a man tried to rob the post office. Shots were fired, and that suspect fled the area on what is reported to be a moped. Again, this is all early information coming from the scene. We have seen police officers at this location. The front of the building has crime scene tape around it. Police officers going in and out of the building. We would anticipate, since this involved the post office at some point, there would also be a federal component to this as well. Again, a shooting that happened around 1:15 this afternoon at the post office, Midwood Station along Coney Island Avenue between Avenues I and J. At this time, no injuries have been reported. The investigation ongoing, and again, the initial reports are the suspect described as a man, fled on what is being described as a moped from the area. We'll widen out and just give you a perspective of the area. Just a few minutes ago, there were more police vehicles on scene. There's still a fair amount of police officers at this location. Again, we have been seeing officers going in and out of the building, the front of it taped off with crime scene tape. At this time, the roadway has been left open to some traffic. You can see vehicles passing through, although it is a possibility we could see some closures as this investigation develops. Only about 45 minutes or so after the incident happened. Again, this all started around 1:15 this afternoon. Again, if you're just joining us, we are following breaking news out of Brooklyn. There has been a shooting at the post office along Coney Island Avenue at the Midwood Station between Avenues I and J. You can see some of those police officers now still walking around the front of the building. It's being reported, initial reports from the scene, that there was an attempted robbery inside the post office. Shots were fired. No injuries have been reported at this time. Since we have been over the location, we have not seen any ambulances. So again, that might concur with the reports of no injuries at this time, at least reported at this time. The suspect described as a man that fled on what has been reported as a moped. We can see there are still many police vehicles on the scene. There were some initially that have left the scene, but still a good amount of police vehicles. You can see some of those under the trees, marked as well as unmarked police vehicles with their flashing lights going. And with this incident happening around 1:15 this afternoon, again, less than an hour ago, at this point, no description has been given out on the suspect other than being described as a man who fled on a moped. And as we've been looking around the outside of the building, it has been taped off, the sidewalk in front taped off, police officers conducting part of their investigation outside as well. There have been no visible signs outside of the building other than the crime scene tape that anything may have taken place outside of the building. We're not seeing any evidence markers, no visible signs of any type of damage to the front of the building in terms of the windows. So the initial reports are this shooting did take place inside, and at this time, other than the crime scene tape, we are not seeing any obvious indicators that any portions of this incident took place outside of the building other than the suspect fleeing the area. And again, if you are just joining us, we have been following breaking news out of Brooklyn. There has been a shooting at the post office along Coney Island Avenue, the Midwood Station Post Office, Coney Island Avenue between Avenues I and J, about 1:15 this afternoon. The initial reports are that there was an attempted robbery inside the post office. There were shots fired. At this time, no injuries have been reported. We have seen police officers on the scene conducting their investigation. The initial reports of the suspect are that it was a man who fled on a moped. At this time, no other details on the suspect have been given. Again, an ongoing investigation by the NYPD. We would anticipate possibly some kind of federal law enforcement being involved as well, since this involved a postal facility. Again, no injuries have been reported. We will have updates throughout the day on this developing situation out of Brooklyn on CBS News New York. For now, this is Jim Smith in Chopper 2. Thank you for joining us.
This has been breaking news.